Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is a new series called 30 for 30, where I do 30 rapid-fire critiques in 30 days, 15 Adorama picks, and 15 Squarespace rapid-fire critiques. If you want to see all of the rapid-fire critiques in one place, go ahead, click up on the screen right now. We'll take you over to the website to do that, but let's get into a critique. All right, looks like we have another Adorama Picks rapid fire critique, part of my 30 critiques in 30 days. This time we have, Kamaromi Sebastian's 10 photos posted on Flickr. I want to thank Adorama Picks. If you haven't checked out Adorama Picks and used the code PXMETFRO30, go ahead and do that for all aluminized prints. If you haven't tried them, I absolutely love the aluminized prints. I do the glossy on white substrate. Any size, the largest that I can get, 24 by 36, is what I love. Take advantage of the 30% off code. No matter how many you order, they'll give you 30% off until the end of September 2015. Here we go. Let's get into the photo. We are taken with the Nikon D3100 and a 70-300 kit lens. Well, 70-300 is a pretty good lens that they make. So exposure-wise, nice. Composition, very nice. Editing, processing, very nice. All around, it's a very nice image. As part of a photo story, it works. On its own, it works. This is nice. I love how you have the composition in the image. Remember, doesn't matter what camera you're using, doesn't matter what lens you're using. If you understand light and you understand composition, you're going to get great images. It's just that simple. It's not always that simple, but it's a good starting point. So I really like this image. I like how everything feels in it. Here it looks like, hey, I'm holding up a ball of hay, and I'm going to lean on it. I see what we have. We have leading lines leading you into the frame, or sorry, leading you out of the frame here. It's just a little awkward the way that she's leaning. I would be interested to see what it is with a little more of the hay bale showing. Now, not bad. Everything about it seems perfectly fine. Processing good, all of that. I think a black and white could be good, but I do like the subtle gold of everything about it. But I think compositionally, moving over slightly, showing more of this would make it seem less awkward, because there is a lot of dead space here. Or going horizontal and keeping her over on that side of the frame, leading you even further out of the frame, would show more hay, and I think, hey, and I think it would work better. So yeah. 5.6, 400 ISO, 300 millimeters, 1.320. Okay, so exposure-wise, we're okay. It's just, it's a little too dark. It needs to be brightened up. You can fix some of this in post, but in terms of the image, it's just to me, how can we make it less of a snapshot? Remember, when I'm doing critiques, it's all about trying to figure out how you can take what you have here and make it even better. So it may seem like I'm ripping something, which is sometimes the case. You're giving your feedback, because that's what critiques are, but then trying to point out what could be done to make it better. The whole point of critiques for everybody out there, even though this may not be your work, is to take something that is said and hopefully it embeds in your head, so that when you're shooting, you could be like, oh, why don't I try this horizontally like Jared said, because I would get a wider shot, get more hay in there, tell more of a story than in vertical. And maybe that helps you out in the future. So if I was to shoot this again, I would throw her off to the left-hand side, have dead space over to the right, and I think it would be better off. Plus the exposure, we could go black and white. We could bump it up to try to save some of the area, but this is going to be a shadow area down here. It's an okay shot. It's nothing great. It's nothing special. It's not the worst in the world, but there are some things that you could do better. You don't need all of this dead space here. I'd rather have the dead space to the right-hand side being out of focus area, but we need some more light in her face, and the ways that you can do that right now is in the post-processing. You can bring that back. All right, so now this is, when is this? July 30th, 2015, 5, 6. All right, so we kind of have the same exposure, and I see that you went black and white. Too much dead space up here. In this case, you're cutting off her arms, cutting off her legs. Not your fault. Well, yes, it is your fault. You took the picture, but that's how she's sitting. But what could we do to make this picture more interesting? Sometimes tight shots aren't interesting. if she was engaged with the camera, then yes, a tight shot could be more interesting. The way that she is here, I want to see the scene of what is she looking at. That's what I get out of it when I'm looking at it. How could we make this image better shot this tight? Well, the black and white isn't processed enough. It's too dull, it's too gray, it's too right down the middle. I have found that right down the middle tends to look amateurish, and a lot of people I think a lot of people feel the same way. I'm not saying that this one should be over-processed and done a lot more contrast, but it would help it. It needs to be brighter. The exposure is off for this. We're at 5.6 at 300 millimeters, 1/400th of a second at 400. We could bump the ISO to say 640 to get a little. If you bump the ISO here, it would brighten it up a little bit, and I think we could bring this picture back. But if I was to do a composition, I would probably want to see something along the lines of this. Nope, too far. I would want to see something along the lines close to this, maybe a little further left, but you see how I'm doing that as a horizontal? It leads you out of the frame in this case. There's no reason to have the arms, the hands, and the legs cut off the way they are. I think this would work much better. Not bad, but we need, okay, all right, there we go. D30-100, 18 to 140 kit lens. It's a good little lens. 800 ISO, not afraid to push the ISO with that camera, even though it's not the highest ISO usable camera. It really isn't, but this looks spectacular. The colors are vibrant. Oh my God, the reflections, all of these reflections are amazing. So this is where the tighter shot works because of the background. You have the chairs, you have them reflecting in the pool, you've got the blue stuff, you've got the pink juxtaposition, and you've got the girl peeking her head out of the water. Do we see the difference between a snapshot and a photograph? Look at this photograph. How much better is this than the prior two? It really resonates. It stands out. And you can see that I got excited when I saw it because isn't that what you know good pictures when you see them. This is a good picture. There's not much more to say about it other than I really love everything that's going on within it. The reflections, the colors, the expression, the way that it's in the water. How did you do it? I love it. See, this is what you look for in photographs. And I don't mind that, yes, the eyes are a little dark. You could go in there and clean that up in post. But everything, I really like what's going on in this photo. I really, really like it. All right, so this one I can like as well. I will say we need some vitamin C. That's cute. This is from 2013, taken with the 18 to 55 kit lens. So this time, as yes, I'm a big proponent of contrast, it's gone a little far on, I think, the clarity slider. I like this composition. I love the fact that you use these posts as natural frames. Really nice. And we've got the kid and we've got the person over here, and they're together. Distracting these two doesn't take away, not your fault, it's just that's called nitpicking. If they were gone, even better, because it does draw my eye to it. A little too much on the process, and you can see all the noise in the grain that's showing up here from trying to burn that in or bringing that in. Overall, nice shot. Okay, all right, Nikon D, this is recent with the 18 to 140 kit lens. Nice job here. I love the low angle. This may be just either you're laying on the ground or you did a Wi-Fi shot with this. Well, this is dirt on the sensor, or we have a high aperture, yeah, f13. So that's got to be careful with that. Here's good job getting down on this angle. Too much dead space to the right. The cows need more room on the left. We need to center this with this line. We don't have to, but I think it would work much better. It does feel a little muted, though I don't think a fully high contrast image would be much better. It's just got to be, you just got to be over further. That's what I see with the composition, is that too much dead space here. I want this guy more over here, and I want the moo-moos more here, and I want this line somewhere in the middle, and I love the background. This one is a lot more boring. This one doesn't do much for me. There's not a lot of interest here. I don't know what it is. I would venture to say it's some kind of old mine, but this doesn't do it. It just does it. This is like a, hey, snapshot. If you wanted to make it better, get rid of this dead space down here. You've cut the roof basically at the top of it. Start the composition in this area, or even in the road area, and then go above the building, and yet here we go. Something like this. Just imagine that there's more trees up here, and we end it right around these barrels, and nothing to the right would make it better compositionally. Interesting. Okay, so over-processed is what I can say. I like the idea of laying down with this log and getting this shot, but you can see all this glowy McGlowerson thing here. That means you've done way too much processing of this image, that it's too far and it takes away from the shot. Over-processing is one of those things that can really detract from your images, and this is exactly what happened here. It's over-processed. And then this is just a snapshot of a building. There's really not much to say. You know, f4. Ooh, okay, 3200 ISO, 1/10 of a second at f4. If you're handheld, okay. No, you're probably not handheld. Get on the tripod, drop your shutter speed all the way down, get your aperture up much higher than f4. In this case, you could have gone to, say, f16 or so, and then all these people would disappear with a much slower shutter speed of 15 to 20 seconds, and then this would look a heck of a lot better other than looking like a snapshot. So the winning shot is this one right here. And look, if there is one that's the best of the best of the best with honor, sir, in here, it's this, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's probably 2 or 3 best picture, 2 or 3 that are not bad at all, one that's okay, and then the rest we could use some work, but that's okay in a set of 10. I take into consideration the D3100, the kit lenses that are being used. I would think that you're just starting out or you're growing as a photographer, but I absolutely love the direction that you are going. And as part of a critique, you have to take it all into consideration, and I think you've done a great job. So that is another 30 for 30 critique. This time was a rapid fire, Adorama Picks rapid fire critique. Like I said, I would love to see this as an aluminized metal print. I think this glossy on a, it has to be glossy because of the water. The reflective nature would play perfect to make it seem like the water. If you did this 24 by 36 with the aluminized glossy, aluminized print from Adorama Picks and you use the code that's right here on the screen, get 30% off. You guys try it out yourself. I think you will love aluminized prints, or if you've already done them, go ahead, take advantage of the 30% off until September 30th, 2015. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya. To check out all the videos from this 30 for 30 series, go ahead and click up on the screen right now. It's going to take you over to the post over on FroKnowsPhoto.com, where you can see all 30 posts once they are live.